Side. Now, my celebrity guest is best known for presenting the Generation Game, as well as hosting the Big Break. Have you guessed him yet? He's also appeared in reality TV programmes, including the 13th series of Celebrity Big Brother, eventually winning the show. Not only has our guest commanded the TV airways, he's also written 2 autobiographies, including The Full Monty and Close to the Edge. My mystery guest is currently the chairman of the British Forces Foundation charity. He was awarded an OBE for his services to the charity sector back in 2001. And at the moment, he has a YouTube channel where he shares his opinions on news stories. He set this up during the COVID lockdown and has been also married a staggering 5 times. So who do you think it could be? Of course it is. I'm pleased to say I'm joined now by Jim and Davidson. Jim!
Well, how are you?
Wow, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Do you know that was a picture of my dad there with me? Me blurred out, and that was my dad on This Is Your Life. He couldn't speak, he was so drunk. But he couldn't help it, he was Glaswegian. And Eamon Andrews said, "Jock, you must have been very proud of your boy." And my dad said, and Eamon said, "Thank you, Jock Davidson," and sat him down. That was it. I'm not chairman of the British Forces Foundation anymore. Was founder, and also founder of Care After Combat. But you get a bit old, and suddenly it's time to step down and let grown-ups take over and do it properly.
So, Jim, talk to me about your life then, because it's like this is your life, isn't it?
It is.
Where you sort of grew up, actually, that's my neck of the woods.
South East London?
Yeah, South East. So what was it like growing up there?
Well, it was all right. We had a council house that, funny enough, was built by Italian prisoners of war that were held there. And it was nice. We had a little driveway, 2 bedrooms, little box room where I grew up, and a lot of people my age grew up in a box room in a council house, freezing with ice on the inside of the window. I was mixed race, would you believe? I had a Glaswegian Scottish father and an Irish Catholic mother, and all the arguments in my house were fantastic. And we grew up in... it was a great little atmosphere. You play football in the street, you let your dog out in the morning, he'd run around and come back when he wanted his dinner. It's all gone now. That's all changed a bit.
Yeah, that area has changed quite a bit as well.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, but it was fun growing up. I didn't like school very much, and I was a bit of a show-off. I was the last one of 5 children. There's a 10-year gap between me and my late brother, who's gone now. So I was the bit of the show-off. I was the one that wanted all the attention. It hasn't worn off, as you can tell.
Now, where you were, was it quite ethnically diverse?
No.
Because was it most...
Well, I went to school. There were 2 black guys at school. There was... what was his name? Can't remember his name. But my mate, my best mate with the black guy, we were inseparable. His name was Georgie Campbell. He ended up being a dancer in Starlight Express, would you believe, Georgie? Yeah. We played in the middle together in the football team. And he sounded exactly like me. And then about 4 years after school, I saw him in Lewisham, and he'd got the dreadlocks. And he was with another couple of black guys. I went, "George, how are you?" He went, "Me with me 2 brethren went round." And I said, "What are you talking like that for?" He said, "I'm with me mates, aren't I?" Fantastic. He put on an accent.
Because in your career, you've been... I mean, there's one time where you did something with the BBC where you were criticised. You created a show, and one of the characters was Chalky.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you know, it was because I used to do stories like that, growing up in a multiracial school sort of thing. And because you did accents, it was OK. You didn't do jokes about the person. You just did the accent. And I tried to make that... Someone said, "Oh, you mustn't generalise. Why don't you pick one person?" So I invented this character called Chalky. Never Chalky White, always Chalky. And he was always the winner. And looking back, would I do it again? Yes. Looking back, would I do it now? No. You know why, Nana? No one's got a West Indian accent anymore.
Do you think? I think
no one has got.
You, though. You'd be
well, let them get me. They won't get me now, because not only have I got YouTube, I've got my own TV streaming channel called Ustream, and no one can cancel me from that.
So when did your big break, pardon the pun, when did you sort of get your big onto the stage?
As a kid.
Yeah, when you were young.
12-year-old in the gang show with all the Boy Scouts. Leave it. Yeah, that was 1966. I was a little kid doing impressions, and then played drums in a pub in Woolwich.
Yep.
And then went in a pub in Woolwich once, and the comedian didn't turn up, so filled with about 6 pints of lager, I was pushed on. And they said, "Oh, you can do this." So then I went to a pub called the Black Bull in Lewisham, window cleaning.
I know the one.
Window cleaning with my mate Larry. And he said, "Yeah, the governor's looking for a comedian." I told him, "You'll do it." And he said to me from up north, he said, "So what pubs have you worked then?" And I just made a load of pubs up. I thought, he won't know. So I went in and did my first spot on a Sunday lunchtime, 12 o'clock, not a soul in the pub at all. And I walked on and just twiddled and talked to the girl a bit, and then in came a load of guys of West Indian origin who'd been playing football, and that was it. That was my first audience, and we had a ball. It was great. And then he said, you can do Saturdays and Sundays, you get 10 quid, but you've got to serve behind the bar as well. So that was it.
That's fantastic.
I was a professional then.
Well,
1974.
1974, I was 3 years old then.
You ain't that old, are you?
Yeah, I'm that old, yeah.
Really?
51.
No.
Oh, I love it. That's such a good reaction.
No.
I love that.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a phone vote.
Ah.
You're fibbing.
No, I'm telling
you. You're 51.
You knew that, Jim.
We're same age as my wife and my daughter.
Well, there you go. Then your wife.
I've matched them up. They got someone to talk to when I'm miserable.
Now, you went on, you didn't go on Opportunity Knocks. Was it New Faces?
New Faces,
You
yeah.
did New Faces. Now, you won it, didn't you? Or did
I
you
won it. I won it once, and then I won it the second time.
Yeah.
And then in the gala final, I was beaten by Roger de Courcy. He had a teddy bear, a ventriloquist. He's not been so well lately, Roger, so I wish him all the best.
Well, what wasn't Nookie Bear, was it?
It was a little teddy bear.
Not Nookie.
It was called Nookie Bear.
I love Nookie Bear.
Nookie Bear, that was it.
Bear,
well, his real name
Is he still
was
alive?
called Pooh Bear, and they had to change it.
Well, of course, he's still here.
He's battling at the moment. I think he's not particularly well. I don't know the details, and but he's a good old guy, and he was very, very good. He was good. And I worked with him before we did New Faces. But during that New Faces, I got spotted by Benny Hill. Would you believe?
Benny Hill.
Yeah, and he introduced me to a producer, and then I did a TV show. And by 1979, I had my own TV show, the Jim Davidson Show. 1980, top of the bill, London Palladium, etc., etc., etc. And then Thames Television, my own show. And then I got the sack. Me and Benny Hill got the sack overnight.
Why?
Wokeness. I think Ben Elton had proved you could be a stand-up comedian without being funny. And then it all changed. Life changed. And so that was it. I did all right, bought another boat, got another wife. And then my manager came in and threw a cassette down, the old VHS, and said, the BBC want you to do that. I said, what is it? He said, some rotten show about snooker. And that was Big Break.
Big Break, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember that.
and then halfway through Big Break, a man came in and said, Bruce Forsyth's gone sick. Can you stand in tomorrow and do the Generation Game?
Generation Game, yeah.
So I did. Went in and did it. I wasn't very good, but it made Bruce get better really quick.
I bet it did.
He did. He came back.
I bet it was that you were actually very good.
And that was it. I did that and then left that as well. And I thought, well, what am I going to do with myself? I still work live a lot and pack places out. But I wanted to be able to produce TV shows. So what I formed was very, very similar to GBNews. You do the news, and we're very similar, but we do jokes. Jokes, comedy, Freddie Starr, Jethro, Chubby Brown, all the people you won't see on mainstream TV, I've now got. So I'm a TV mogul.
Well, you've got your own...
So if it all goes wrong here for you, get an act and come over to us.
I've thought of one already, actually, so I've got a good one. Yeah, I've got a good one. I could do a good one. Now, I wanted to ask you about this U-Tree, because where were you in your career when that sort of...
Operation U-Tree.
Operation U-Tree.
Do you know what? It's really funny. Looking back now, I went on stage once when it was all going on to the Jim will fix it theme with a Jim will fix it badge round me, the irony of it all.
Oh, yeah, I see.
And I used to do a whole routine about it. And someone said, you want to be careful, they'll come knocking at your door one day. And one day they did.
And this was before you were supposed to go on Big Brother, weren't you? And then you...
Yeah, they were all camped outside my house. All loads of people. I said, what's up?
You were on your way, weren't you, actually, to Big Brother?
Well, when I got arrested, I was, but they were all outside my house for ages and ages and ages and waiting. I remember coming round the corner, I'd come back from the Co-op, and there was a live TV thing there. Oh, the shame of it. I threw the Co-op bag in the bush.
You can't be seen coming there.
I pulled out my Waitrose bag. And I'm looking back at it as a laugh, but it was quite... I thought it was a done deal. It was all a little bit silly. Freddie Starr had been arrested, a few other people had been arrested. I thought, well, they can't get me. And then suddenly I was arrested at Heathrow. And the policeman said, I'll never forget this, cheer up, Jim. It's not as if it's underage sex. I said, OK, then, I did it. Yeah. And that was it. And I had a load of accusations. And me and my lawyers, Henry and Trevor Burke, the QC, we went and got all the evidence and gave it to the police. And they changed a couple. They changed a couple of stories. Oh, they said, he's proved that wrong, so you better do another story. They did that, proved that wrong as well. And they basically said, Jim, there's not going to be any more action, no further action. It was a bit scary because I thought it was a done deal. And I thought that the public, although there's ones that say, oh, no smoke without fire, I thought the public thought enough is enough. You know, Jim, no.
And
I never had the need to do that, I didn't think. I was quite thin and nice.
And of course, you weren't charged at all. And they
No, I wasn't charged,
all
no.
the charges, anything.
And people said you should sue the police. No, the police were doing their job.
Yeah.
The police did a good job.
Well, because a lot of people, when they get through that sort of situation, it kind of destroys their life, because it has the potential of destroying your life, doesn't it? That kind of investigation.
It's changed me a bit.
I bet.
I've sort of become a bit logical, especially with arguing. If you say something to me and then you say, you said this, no, I didn't say that. So I don't like being accused of something I haven't done now. That's really knocks me stomach up a bit.
Yeah, nobody likes that. For me, I've been accused of something I haven't done. So now you've done all this. Did you imagine that your reality would be this big? I mean, my dad, when I show my dad the picture, I go, oh, Jim Davidson. He loved you. My dad loves you.
Well, at least it's not your granddad.
No,
people come up now, oh, sign me arm for my dad.
In your mind, though, what do you think? Do you think, wow, I mean, you have achieved so much.
Yeah, and I've achieved in different lumps of stuff. You know, I did well as a little young stand-up comic. I was quite good live, and then I was quite good on the television as a comedian, and then as the game show host, I quite enjoyed that. I really loved the Generation Game. Yeah, because I didn't have to go on and swear and be horrible. I could just go on and have a laugh. And then, of course, after that, continuing to work live, like the old statesman on stage, selling out everywhere. And, of course, now Ustream TV. So I've had it all in chunks. I had a wife to suit each chunk.
Yeah, you have. You've had, what, 5 wives now?
So far.
But the latest one's been with you for quite some time.
Say again?
She's been with you for a while, though.
This girl, this the girl I'm with, what's her name, mate?
Come on.
Michelle. Yeah, you've met her, haven't you?
I have met her.
Yeah. I've been with her for about a life sentence now, actually.
She's lovely.
She is lovely.
I'm
pleased
that you found somebody decent.
She is, yeah. She's mad about me. She loves me. She'll be watching this now.
Oh, bless her. Hello, Michelle.
Sharpening up the knives and the chainsaw.
Now, are you a Freemason? You have to say that. What do they do?
Freemasons? Do you know why I became a Freemason? Exactly what you said
what
there.
The hell?
Yeah. What's in them briefcases? What's in there? What you got in there? I think what you do, I think Freemasonry, the one thing you don't do is sit round and help each other out.
Right.
You don't do that. You help each other to become a better person. You know, I've always said this when I've met Prince Charles, or King Charles now. Whenever I've left him, he's made me want to be a better person. And whenever I've been to a Freemasons meeting, and it's all ritual, it's a very sort of Christian-y type or Jewish-y type thing. And you always tend to think, I want to be a better person here, I want to fit in, I want to stop being me.
What do you think now that when you look at comedy? Like, for me, I love Little Britain. I thought it was fantastic.
Did you?
Did you like it? I thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was like kids trying to do it.
Oh, but it was funny. Come on, it was, but that sort of comedy is...
Well, David Williams was, the little baldy man he was funny,
What about David?
Who?
David.
Who's David?
The only gay in the village.
I didn't... You
didn't watch any of it? Oh, my God.
No, I watched a bit of it, and I thought, no, this is not for me. You know, I'm old. I'm 70 years of age this year.
You don't look it, Jim.
Yeah, I know. We should team up. We're the young kids.
What do you think about comedy now, in the direction it's going with all this sort of... Yeah, this censoring and this woke thing.
Two of my favourite comedians are in this building now. There's Thingy and what's his name? Two of them.
Exactly. Memorable, are they?
Yeah, Doyley and Caporo.
OK.
Yeah, they'll be on later on, won't they?
They will be. They're with Free Speech Nation, yeah.
Yeah. Young comedians, I think, are all a little bit like schoolboys having a go at it. We've just produced a show called Proper Comedians, and had some of the old school guys on there. I mean, really old. Jimmy Jones was 85. And some of the young guys who struggled a bit. But they're OK in their own... Everyone has their... You know, they have their audience. I don't entertain British troops anymore because they're all 18, 19, 20 years of age. What do they want to see an old man for? They want to see young people. They want to see those young comics in the jumpers and the trainers. You know, every era has their own sense of humour. Who makes you laugh? Apart from me.
You?
Yes.
But you still make me laugh, so you make me laugh.
Good.
I can't stand things like Mrs Brown's Boys. That does my head in.
I'm not a lover of that.
I hate it.
Why? Is it a bit...
I'd rather eat my own teeth. But yeah, it's difficult to choose the comedians these days because a lot of it's been so sanitised that it's no longer that funny. But yeah, I mean, I was a fan of Faulty Towers and all that kind of stuff when I was younger.
Yeah, I was a fan of all that. It was a bit university, And Monty Python was a bit university, but groundbreaking. I didn't want to be groundbreaking. I just used to see those people in front of me, and I thought, I'm going to make you laugh more than you've ever laughed before. And that's what I still try and do. I don't think any comedian in their right mind sets out to offend.
No.
I think offence is taken rather than given. Some people set out, come on then, offend me. Oh, you said that.
They're waiting for it, aren't they?
You said that, you said this. Yeah, I think you should be able to say what you want, really.
Within certain boundaries.
I think you ought to edit yourself. There is a way that you think, if I say this, it's going to upset someone.
So talk to me about Ustream then, because this is the big thing that you're doing at the moment.
Which started with me in a camcorder in the back garden during lockdown. I was so bored, I just started ranting and raving about the news. So I'd watch your show and then I'd go and take the mickey out of it. So I did what you want to do with some of the... It's so ridiculous. You do it sometimes. I've seen you do this. You don't need a scriptwriter, it makes itself up. And then me and my mate Robert Garofalo decided, right, we'll put it out and see if we get subscribers. We had 3,000 subscribers in the first 3 months. Then we thought, I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll have a proper TV show. So now we're on an app, you can get us on the mobile phone, on the thing. And by the end of this week, we'll be on all the televisions with the Ustream app. So when people have finished watching GBNews, which we have on all the time at home, I have to tell you. Especially when you were on.
Get out of it.
And my granddad loves you.
Oh, really?
And, and so that's it. You can flick over and see a little bit of comedy.
Well, listen, Jim, I shall be watching that anyway.
Good.
Maybe one day I'll be on it.
Yeah. I've got to read what she's really written about me. Handsome old chap. Well, that'll do, Nana.
Yeah, well, Jim Davidson, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm going to go and see Scott Capurro now.
Lovely. Thank you so much. That, of